couple of things to cast for you this evening. I'll see how far through the replays I get. First up, since I posted a sort of nasty Protoss cannon rush approximate timings and Terran proxy timings, I thought I should do something to show you some stuff that you can do as Zerg. This isn't really a cheese or anything, so it's not really a vile all-in or anything gross like that, so I didn't feel guilty about doing this one actually on the ladder. So here I am playing as the Zerg in the bottom left of Eternal Empire, and my opponent is some punter playing Terran up in the top right, and what I've decided to go for is Bane. So I'm going to go for a very standard Zerg opening. And this is by no means all in or anything like that. I just wanted to kind of give people some ideas of the types of stuff they can get up to as a Zerg player. So for me, a standard Zerg opening is you sort of you drone up as far as you can. You build an overlord once you hit the supply block. When the overlord pops out, you'll have 3 larvae and you'll have enough money to turn all 3 into drones. I tend to send one of those straight away to Expo, and then as soon after that as I can, I'll get a pull down, and from there, if you're going very economic, you maybe go for another hatch, or you throw a gas down. In this case, since I wanted to crack out some Bane from drop lords, I've put the gas down because I am going to need that gas income. So the plan here is to get this overlord into position somewhere up around here. Once the overlord's in position, I am going to need to have transport to turn them into drop lords. So in order to do that, I will need a reasonably quick lair. I mean, Bane is good at any time in the game. It isn't necessarily an opener, but people tend to be less prepared for it if you do it nice and early on. So as I said, this is nothing like all in. As you can see, I'm perfectly happy to expand with this. I'm getting gas. I'm doing the stuff that you would expect. I've thrown down the Evo here. The Evo is kind of, if you were just trying to rush to Bane, you wouldn't bother necessarily with the Evo. That's kind of more for later in the game when I'm, I don't really expect a quick Bane drop to actually end the game in any way. So everything looks good and normal. My opponent hasn't scouted at all, so I don't know really what they're doing. But then neither have I. I've got this overlord in a pretty good position, so it is going to get to see the timings. Playing against Zerg, they've been pretty cautious. They've got their wall, and they've built their expo on the high ground, and they're just flying that down to land that in position. And as you can see, I've got full sight of that, so I know what's up. I know what's happening. This overlord is in position, and I believe what I'll probably look to do is get a second overlord across there. You can see I've got the Benling nest. Obviously if you're going to do Benring, you're going to need Benlings, so that's important. I've got the lair mutating. I think this is this overlord, as you can see, is also on its way over to this kind of area. So my plan is to do a sort of double overlord drop. I'll speed things up a little bit just so you can see what that looks like when the time comes. Overlord speed is kind of important for this. Overlord speed is a relatively cheap upgrade. You can get it pretty early on. It's not too hard to squeeze that into your build, and it just makes a big difference to the likelihood of your overlords getting picked off. Once the lair is finished up here, you can mutate these overlords into drop lords, so they now have capacity to carry Zerglings or 4 Banelings, or whatever other units you might want to throw into them. So I've got some lings on the way. I'm going to get those across the map. This overlord here is just hilarious. I've got away with building absolutely no units because this whole time I know exactly what my opponent's doing. I know that they're not moving out. I know that they're still only in 2 bases. So I'm feeling pretty comfortable, pretty happy about this. So I get a bunch of lings across the map. I'm going to warp those into Benlings. as you can see, and as soon as they're done, I'll put 4 bendings in each of these overlords, and we'll see what we can do here. So the plan is to send these in. The method here typically is you send, as you can see, I've shift clicked these overlords in a scouting pattern, and what you do then is you highlight the overlords, you tap D and you click them, and they will drop the bendings out one at a time as they move. My opponent, fair play, has seen this and has done a really good job actually of moving unfortunately the bendings automatically focus the stuff that shoots rather than the workers. Yeah, whatever he's called, Dionysius has done actually a really good job of pulling the workers and running away from that, which is very well done indeed. Unfortunately, I unloaded the other overlord over here, and I am going to get a pretty good connection to where it is. So that's kind of it, really. That is, that's it. It's a lovely little play to make, to do a bit of damage to your opponent, to put a bit of hurt on. This guy's going to come back in, have a little scout. I think the Widowmine's going to end him. It does. Yeah, I'm in good shape. I've done a reasonable amount of damage to this mineral line. If I want to, I can send this back in and see if I can get another little swipe off at this. From memory, I believe I do. So as I said, you know, this is... just try if you can to ignore that with a mine, or at the very least only lose 1 bending to it. Pretty good connection. It's a pity I wasn't looking, or at least not looking for long enough to micro the other 2 bendings into the workers as well, because that would have taken them all out. Yeah, unlikely to be game ending, but certainly slows your opponent down, and you know, keeps them thinking, keeps them busy. Oh, that's pretty shoddy, isn't it? 24-16, nada. Yeah, anyway, ignore that. You know, the good news is I did indeed go on to win the game, and we're all happy. That's a lot of queens, isn't it? Yeah, decent. GG.